Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Cool Eagle back here, another video. Just want to come talk to you guys because, whoa, do we have a lot to talk about today in the world of sports, man? Even though football season's over, the Super Bowl, Pro Bowl is away, we are in the midst of people getting released, people getting signed. Like that Ravens defensive lineman, Patrick Madubike, got signed for 4 years, 92 million. Things like that are just going to keep happening throughout the offseason, the draft coming up. But right now, man, the biggest news right now is the New York Giants and Russell Wilson in talks. Apparently, after the expected release from the Denver Broncos, Russell Wilson has been in talks with at least two different teams known so far. The Steelers are a big one, and the New York Giants are another one. Now, which fan base is more excited about getting Russell Wilson? You would have to ask a New York Giants or a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but it seems like from the Twitter memes on Facebook and Twitter that Pittsburgh are praying that Russell Wilson does not get signed by the Pittsburgh Steelers, which, to a non-casual fan, you would think like, damn, they're turning down a quarterback that could potentially like turn their franchise around. You still got some young guys on good contracts. You can only build around Russell Wilson by getting him a couple offensive linemen, and he'll do the rest of it. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers have the defense to go along with it, and I think that chemistry is going to be really natural between Mike Tomlin and Russell Wilson, not just because they're the same skin color, but they all agree with just doing their job the right way all the time and are about consistency and have been models of that for years in their career. Now, not Russell Wilson as much, just because a lot of people are still arguing if he was the problem in the Denver Broncos organization or not. I personally don't think so. I think that the Denver Broncos have just been going through a lot, especially with the previous offseason coming into this past season where they dealt with a lot of injuries and that whole situation with Jerry Judy and like probably killed his confidence. And then other wide receivers were just in and out of the lineup, the offensive line for just whatever reason during the Peyton Manning years were like the 90s Cowboys offensive line, but now they just can't seem to like protect anybody. And maybe maybe it's a mental thing, maybe it's a schematic thing, but it just hasn't happened. So Russell Wilson getting released, to me, it feels like a scapegoat for Sean Payton, because he was doing offense, he was scheming an offense that wasn't um true to the strengths and weaknesses of that Denver Broncos offense, which has always been really good at running the football and getting those offensive linemen active in the offense. But when you go away from that and try to make Russell Wilson into something that like he's probably not at this point in his career, because I believe since he got released from the Denver Broncos in his 3-year stretch, his quarterback rating is a 90.9, which is considered very average in today's NFL. Obviously, not everybody is a career 100 like Patrick Mahomes, who's obviously the GOAT right now of this generation, at least. That whole thing between him and Tom Brady, that's again, we have to let him get to a possible fifth championship before we actually start taking it seriously. But this is not a Patrick Mahomes episode right now. This is about Russell Wilson and the New York Giants. Now, again, back to what I was saying before, the Denver Broncos, like to me, that was just a whole scapegoat for Sean Payton because his offense was just not working because again, he wasn't building according to the strengths and weaknesses of the Denver Broncos, who have historically been really good when they run the football. So, which hasn't really happened due to Javonte Williams being in and out of lineup. You got rid of Melvin Ingram, who is probably more of a liability and an asset at that point in his career. I mean, who knows? But and you were doing very well in the beginning of the season. And then that whole shit with Russell Wilson happened, and then your season just went kaput. I mean, because Russell Wilson, if you look at his numbers, they scream a quarterback who probably should have been voted to the Pro Bowl, probably should have won some kind of award, because without Russell Wilson, that offense, that team is not going to be as good. Not saying that they were that good this year anyway, but if you take away Russell Wilson, he was definitely a game changer, as Russell Wilson, I'm sorry, as Cam Newton would say on his podcast, because if you take him away, the game completely changes for the Denver Broncos. They're probably picking the top 5 of this draft this year. I mean, and I think a non-casual and a casual fan can agree with that. So, Russell Wilson going to the New York Giants. I don't know how they're going to make it work, just because, again, you are on the hook for Daniel Jones's contract that I'm going to show y'all on the screen here. Okay. Right. So looking at Daniel Jones' contract, and again, I'm going to zoom in on this. Bear with me. All right. So looking at his contract, right? In 2024, which was this past season, he got paid $35.5 million. His signing bonus for this particular year was $9 million, and then the cap hit this year is 47.105. Now, if you were to release him, according to an article by, I'm sorry, according to a Reddit article, it says that if you were to cut Daniel Jones before June 1st, you would be taking a $64 million cap hit. But if you release him after, it would only save you like no more than $15 million, which would bring that cap hit a $50 million cap hit, which is a very huge cap hit. So I don't know how the New York Giants are going to make this trade work. But it's still very interesting to see. At least they're talking. I think this would be a very good destination for Russell Wilson and Sierra, because happy wife, happy life, right? So if Sierra were to have a choice or saying in the matter, which I'm sure she does, being the wife and all, being the inheritor to half his shit if something goes south, right? But I'm sure she would rather be in New York than Sin City, just because of the market of New York compared to Pittsburgh. It's really no competition there. I'm sure she would like to continue her reign of stardom and do what she has been doing before and during her time with Russell Wilson in the music industry, which is really big in New York. And then Russell Wilson, being the man he is on and off the field, I'm sure he can definitely make a difference in that community. Um, so this would be a very good move for Russell Wilson, just because, I mean, when you look at the Giants offense, it is still pretty young. They're still figuring things out. And usually in the second year is when you start to see young guys really, really take that leap to the next level. And then the running back situation, the Giants do not plan to franchise tag Saquon Barkley again, meaning that Saquon Barkley is on the free agency. Now, whether you can get another body to replace Saquon Barkley and his production, that's still left to be said. However, the New York Giants weren't winning with him anyway, so I guess in a sense it does give a good opportunity to both the New York Giants and the and Russell Wilson alike, right? Because Russell Wilson gets to be on a good team with young players that are probably old enough to remember who Russell Wilson is in this league and what he represents, not only on the field but off the field. So I think he can garner that respect from guys, who have not really got corrupted by the NFL world, social media and all that, and the attitudes, whatnot. So I think this is a very good situation for Russell Wilson. But for the division itself, man, it does have a bit of concern, just because for the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, we've been so used to Daniel Jones and the New York Giants haphazardry every single year, but now you're upgrading it to a real quarterback who's been on winning football teams and been a game changer on football teams compared to what Daniel Jones has been giving you for the past 4 years. And then for Washington, they're probably going to be in the line to get Caleb Williams. I know Chicago has had talks about trading Justin Fields to Atlanta to get that number 1 overall pick for Caleb Williams. But again, that's still hasn't happened yet. So it's still just a theory, if you want to call that right now. So Caleb Williams possibly come in, and then the new change of coaching and management in that Washington organization, we're probably going to see like the best out of them in the next 1 to 2 years. And then the Dallas Cowboys, you know, um, they're still going to keep hold of Dak Prescott, and and I'm sure they're going to, find ways to get guys in that locker room to help bolster that offense, keep that offense being the consistent top five in the league, no matter if you want to say it granted a return or not. I mean, Will, Will McClay is just as good as Howard Roseman. Like, I'm willing to admit that because he was able to get Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and a multitude of these other guys, just finding gems in the draft, and his signings and free agent. What I'm saying? Getting Stephon Gilmore at a really good deal. So this division is only getting better, and which hopefully will make the Eagles better, because our window of opportunity to win the Super Bowl is not very long. I feel like if the Eagles just can't get it done within this season, I think it'll get that much harder, because then contracts start to kick in, new contracts need to be made. And then it's not already going to be easy this year, because now you lost a really big voice in the locker room in Jason Kelsey, who is now in retirement. And then these guys that were with us in the 2017 Super Bowl, man, fast forward 7 years, these guys are, well, I'm sorry, fast forward 7.5 years, these guys are not getting any younger. The injuries are just going to possibly increase because, age, like not everybody was a warrior like Jason Kelsey was. We've seen Jordan Mailata, we've seen Lane Johnson in and out of the lineup at times, whether it be for personal or injury reasons. So Russell Wilson coming to the New York Giants is going to mean a lot more than what people want to make it out to be. But again, I just don't see it happening, just because of the contract situation with Daniel Jones. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think about that in the comments, man. Remember, like, subscribe. We are on our way to 300 subscribers on this channel. But yeah, man, if Russell Wilson is able to come to New York by some miracle, uh, but I haven't really heard much good news about that Giants front office. Look at Daniel Jones; he's a result of that. So if they're able to do it, I'll be very surprised. I might start believing in things that are hard to believe, just because the Giants did something right and got a quality quarterback that can actually like change the game on your offense, instead of having a game liability, borderline game manager in Daniel Jones. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna say Daniel Jones is horrible. Maybe he'll do better on a different team with less pressure. Like, maybe he'll go to somewhere like Tennessee and just start going off. Like, who knows? Who knows, right? So I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it in the comments, man. We got more content on the way. Just want to come talk to you guys right quick, man, because I feel like I've been slacking a little bit. So just want to get some content out there for you guys. Remember, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Your boy is out ya.